When we moved in here 3.5 years ago, I knew this day was eventually going to come, the day that we would leave the farm. So today is a very bittersweet day, but ultimately it's an insanely happy day, very thankful day. We just signed the final paperwork with the landlords, cleaned out the house. I'm super tired, I haven't even eaten yet today. Yeah, it's 2 o'clock now, but I want to film this final video here to kind of reflect on growing here the last 3.5 years, how my farm operated, how well it did financially. I want to touch on the different techniques I used here and how effective they were for backyard farming. And one of my big goals of growing here was proving that I could create at least 90% of my nutrients on site. So was I successful at that? So one of the big things when I left Jared's Real Food to start my own farm, I wanted to have a place that I could show from the beginning till the end. So how I created the whole farm and what if I was successful or not the whole way, and teaching people that whole time through YouTube. So what I really wanted to show people was how you could start in your backyard, start a farming business, grow it so that you're successful enough to eventually go and get your own land or get to a bigger piece of property someday. And thankfully I've been successful at that. The farm was very financially successful. Definitely in this third year was of course the best. I like to tell people the third year of farming is really when things will start clicking, or should start clicking. And I will do a video about finances and how much I actually made doing farming, but just to give you an idea, this last summer was the best summer ever. I had 5,000 square feet in production, and my weekly sales between my one farmer's market and my private customers, I could make anywhere from 800 to almost 1,000. There was a month where I made over 900 each week, and gross sales. 10% of those sales goes to the market, the remainder is my gross profit, and then you also have to subtract out your other costs like water and seeds. So, but I was able to make almost $1,000 gross per week on 5,000 acres. So it's pretty incredible what is possible when you do efficient systems, you grow the right crops, and all of that stuff. Which of course I've talked about on my channel. And while we're house hunting for our new property, I plan on making some more business focused, marketing focused videos. I finally have the time to do it, so I know that's something that a lot of you are really hungering for, that information, and it's also the most boring and not fun thing to do when it comes to farming. So look for those videos in the future. Now the next question, was I able to run a market garden almost off of the nutrients I could make here on site? This is a big one for me because, as you know, my company's name is Nature's Always Right, and I believe that using natural systems is going to be the best way forward for growing food, whether it's your home or even larger scale farming, which is something I hope to tackle in the future, moving to Tennessee in the South. So yes, I absolutely was successful. I made about 90% of my amendments here on site. That included compost, worm castings, aerated worm and compost teas, biochar, Korean natural farming, cover crops, sheet mulches, and I'm probably even forgetting something, but I experimented with all the different natural techniques out there. And as you guys know, my chickens were a huge part of the compost creation. Every single time I flipped a bed, I added at least 1 wheelbarrow of compost. So the things that I did bring in was typically minerals, so in the form of azomite rock dust or kelp. For my teas, I always blended in a bit of fish emulsion or hydrolysate to help feed fungal life and boost the nitrogen levels in there. But beyond that, it's around 90% was made here. So it is possible, but you also have to understand, I was trying to prove that this was possible, and I also was doing YouTube videos about all these different subjects, and so it created more content for me as well. If you're just a market gardener or small scale farmer, then I recommend just buying in the fertility, because the amount of time it took me to make compost, especially, if you add up all my time that went into it, the labor costs and all that, it doesn't make sense. If you're able to get $35 a yard plus, let's say $150 for delivery, and you can get at least 10 yards, like 20 yards per delivery, then it's much more economical, a much smarter business decision for a farm to just buy in compost. So that is what I recommend for anybody looking to get into this. It's bring in fertility. And now, of course, you could supplement with some of these other techniques like the teas and things as well. And I think that's absolutely fantastic, especially in the beginning of your farm. The biology most likely is not going to be there. So if you want to boost biology and nutrients, you can utilize some of the different inoculants and things that I've talked about on this channel. And then the longer your farm is in development, your organic matter will be increasing. The amount of available nutrients will increase over time, as long as you are not using chemicals, poisons, you're not tilling the land, you're farming the way that I've been showing you guys and all the other regenerative techniques that are out there. Every single year, your soil will get better, and man, is my soil way better than when I started. So now let's talk about the different techniques that I implemented on my multiple properties, and I'll break that down for you, kind of my thoughts about what worked really well and what I would do in the future. So in this property here, I did a sheet mulch and cover crop to begin with to snuff weeds and kind of jumpstart the biology, input some nutrients like nitrogen and others in there. You can see that video and all the videos that I've done that are related to what I'm talking about, I will put in the description so that you can find them easily. This cover crop that I did and how I created the beds, everything is on my channel. If you're new to my channel, I have shown how I built this farm from beginning to end. On this property I did that, and then I tilled everything in to create my beds and I started growing. This technique was fantastic if you have the time to wait. This process took about 5 months, but during that time, we moved in, I built the chicken coop, I built the worm casting systems, I was building my nutrient creation systems during that time. So I had the ability to wait. I think this is another great technique if you're opening up a new field. This is really effective, and I was really impressed by the cover crop's ability to really put good nutrition in there and get that biology going for me. Now, at the other property down the street, I did that one completely no-till the entire time, and that one I bought in the compost. I brought in about probably 14 cubic yards is what ended up staying at that property, and I just built my beds up to about 10 inches tall so that I wouldn't have to bring in more compost later on. I knew that I could grow there for a couple years and just be fine and never really have to add much in the way of compost, other than a couple buckets every time I redid my bed, but that was more for the inoculation purpose that is in compost. So on that property I laid out cardboard, and then we just brought in the compost and started direct seeding. Basically, all I did over there was root crops and salad mixes. And that strategy was, I wanted just my quick turnover crops over there, not my biannual ones. That technique was absolutely my favorite way that I started beds, because it was less work, less machinery, and I thought that the results were just fantastic. So I did compost and I mixed in azomite over there. That's all I did, and I grew incredible crops over there. But of course, this is a little bit more expensive because I had to drop $600-700 to bring it in and set it all up. But it's well worth it because I could still be growing over there for at least another year, 2 years probably on that same compost, maybe three total years on that $600-700. So it really, really is worth it to just bring in the compost if you have a local provider, and make sure it's excellent compost. It needs to be very good. I don't recommend municipal city compost unless they have a specific program and they have a director who's running it that knows what they're doing and knows how to actually create soil or real compost, because a lot of these places, they'll just heat this up to over 200 degrees. They kill all the biology, and there's plastic, there's random weird stuff in there. So unless you're really strapped for cash, buy it from a legit source. I recommend an animal-based manure. It's going to have better biology, better nutrients, much higher levels of NPK, which you want. So if I was going to set up another property, I would do the same thing. I would spend the money, bring in the compost, make the beds, and go. And you can run a farm completely off of compost as long as it's quality compost. Now, Ben Hartman does this. My friend Jared Smith of Jared's Real Food does this. Their farms have been in production for 8-10 years. I don't know about Ben. He may be longer than 10 years, or he's around 10 years. I can't remember. You can grow tomatoes, you can grow greens on a compost-only based system. It is possible, and I've seen it done. So yeah, those are my thoughts on that. The grow bags in the other property were fantastic. I made back all of my money and made double what I put into it in less than a year. And they still had a couple, probably 2 more years left of life in them. They worked really well for peppers, kale, herbs. One thing I liked about them for home gardeners or just small scale farmers is that you can move them. So if I had cilantro and it was going to get really hot, boom, I can just move them somewhere else. And they can get some more shade and, not bolt for a little bit longer. I don't recommend them for tomatoes or cucumbers or things like that unless you're going to build some type of trellis for them. I was really happy with those Bootstrap Farmer grow bags. They worked really well. If you want to see how I set up all these different things, check out the video, links in the description. So now that both properties are back in the landlord's hands, and my landlords at the home plot here are doing something really cool. He planted 4 more trees, some peaches and nectar plums. They're going to keep all the passion fruit and grapes and all that stuff's going to keep going. They kept the chicken coop and 10 chickens. Those are still going. My friend Rusty took the other 10. So everything's still going on here. A lot of my different stuff, I either gave it away or like the grow bags, they went to a bunch of local schools for their gardening programs and to a nonprofit where they grow in people's food and then donate the food. So it was really cool to do that. My greenhouse and all of my major tools are coming with me to Tennessee. If you haven't seen my Tennessee videos and why I'm moving there, you should definitely check those out. So now the next step, right now, once I'm finished with this video, I'm leaving and going home, and we're going to stay at my parents' house for a couple weeks. Then we're going to go to Korea and Thailand for some vacation and to visit my wife's family for a month. We'll be back, and then be back in San Diego for another couple weeks. I want to film with some of my different farming friends here, make some more videos, and then end of March we're going to be going to Tennessee outside of Chattanooga, and we'll be renting there. So we'll be renting first while we house hunt. We're ready to buy, but we want to make sure we are looking in the right area. Really be sure we do like Chattanooga and the surrounding Chattanooga area enough to purchase a home and land there. Because this is going to be a more long-term thing, right? This is a really important part of getting the right land. So I'm going to be making videos about how am I going to go about picking the right land. Luckily, I've almost got 9 years of experience, farming or thinking about farming. I just can't wait to take all this knowledge and experience that I have now and take it to my own property that I own. Finally, I've been dreaming about this for a very long time. So very excited. And excited to show you guys what's next. There's some really big things that are going to happen this year in 2020. The property for sure. There's some other things I can't tell you about just yet, but teaming up with some other content creators. So it should be really interesting year, and I really can't wait to share everything with you guys. So thank you so much for watching my video, supporting my channel, buying through my links. All those different things has helped me to get to the point where I'm at now. I just appreciate each and every one of you guys, and so proud of you guys for wanting to grow food or wanting to do this as a business, because man, as far as like the value that we provide our community and our families, it's just immense. And for myself personally, I can't think of something that I could be doing that would make more of an impact on people's lives than farming. So thank you guys for being a part of it all with me. Also, thank you so much to all my customers at the La Mesa Farmers Market, the other markets I've sold at, my private customers. Thank you so much for your support. It really meant the world to be able to grow food for you guys and your families. And finally, what's going to be happening with my YouTube channel? Because there's going to be some big changes, right? I'm not here anymore. Well, actually, the next half of this year, the content that I'll be putting out is content that I've been making the last few months. So I still need to put out my different farm tours that I did in Tennessee and Kentucky. And then I have about 30 or more videos that I made all about growing on my properties here. So the next 6 months, it'll be as if I'm still here. So there'll be tons of tutorial gardening and farming videos coming out on my channel this year. And hopefully we'll be able to find a house and be moved in by maybe this summer or fall, and I can start developing that property, and I'll have another place to grow again where I can keep making those videos. And during all this time I'll be able to film with other farmers and hopefully teach you guys techniques through the eyes and skills of some other farmers out there. So I'm really excited to bring you guys that as well as my interviews and all the other little type of videos that I like to do on my channel. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. If you could do me a huge favor and share one of my videos, whether it's this one or whatever your favorite gardening tutorial was, to help me get the word out more about my channel and my videos and my mission of just trying to get as many people to grow food for themselves or family or for profit. I'd really, really appreciate it. And you know, we're in this together, trying to spread this knowledge of natural growing. Please be sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you'd like to see when all of my future videos come out, and of course my live videos. And that's gonna be it for this one, guys. Man, here we go. I'm gonna leave and not come back. So it's a very strange feeling. I knew that this day was coming, so I've been prepared for it emotionally. But you know, it's sad when you put a lot of work into something and walk away. But you know, the land benefited, all the landlords benefited, so you know, couldn't ask for more than that. So all right, everybody, have a wonderful day in your farms or gardens, and I will see you in the next Nature's Always Right video.